everybody, welcome back to my channel. Here is the latest video. So this is not a tutorial or review, maybe kind of a review, but I've been working on this wedding dress and I'm a part of like a Facebook group where it's like scams and they're naming like all these different online stores where the things are actually coming like overseas. There's tons of them, like Rose Gal, Rose something, what else? Just you know what I'm talking about. If you shop online and you do fashion and there's all these things about fast fashion, you know what kind of websites I'm talking about. So in this video, I'm concentrating specifically on special occasion dresses, in this case a wedding dress. Client came to me, in fact I was referred by another client and she referred these people. I'll flash a picture of the dress that was intended on being purchased. As you can see here, if you look at the dress, it's like a mauve rosy color. It's got a lot of leaf motifs all over it. So yeah, that's what it was supposed to look like. When they got it, like I was saying right now, completely different. Seam was off. I have the old bust up here. This is how it came. Let me see. So as you can see here, this motif is just completely different to the photo that I just showed you. That's what came in. Obviously, when you order these things, it's super hard to get a refund. I think they might have already, and you know, when I was first in speaking with the family, they were just like, we can't get a refund, so they must have already tried. And by the time they got it, this was like at the end of towards the end of July, I think. I'll have to check back on my text messages to see when our conversation originated. But the wedding is like the second week of September, so definitely, you know, time's ticking. So as you can see, it just came in a complete floral motif, like a whole floral motif, no leaves. I mean, I guess technically some of the flowers have leaves, but it just looks like flower petals like all over the place. Not that it's ugly, but the color is off, and obviously this isn't what the bride ordered. Also, this looks maybe okay, but when the bride tried it on like this, you know, this is too high up to the shoulder. Like this part should be somewhere about like right over the hump of the boob, and it's almost way up here to the shoulder. So it looks nuts. And then also in this part, like what, I don't even know what that, I mean, it's supposed to keep like, this is supposed to be like an off the shoulder thing, but like this makes it look ugly. It does have like poly boning in it. It feels structurally sound. But again, this is not what she ordered. You know, and being a bride, not getting what you wanted, is definitely very frustrating and not Bridezilla-ish at all, because literally this looks hardly anything like what they ordered. So initially we were just like, you know, I was going to shorten this part to give her more armhole room because this part right here is too far in, and so this was just like rubbing right here on like the inside of her armpit, which after maybe like half an hour of wearing, your skin starts to get irritated. So no way do you want to feel that way in your wedding dress on a perfect day and you start getting like rug burn from your dress. Like, nah, dude. So yeah, so originally we were talking, we met at the fabric store, and I'm like, well, I can shorten this, make the armhole bigger, figure something out here. And then also on the dress, as you saw in between each of these little like not ribbons, but like poof things. Oh, I'm at a loss for words right now. There was like a leaf motif going down in between each one of them. Well, this was the applique that, let me see if you can see it. Let me put it behind a piece of paper. This was the applique, and there was a ton of them, you guys, a ton of them. all over the main base sheer part of the skirt. I'm sorry, I'm getting all sweaty here because it's so hot in my garage. So yeah, so that was an issue with the main dress. So I was like, well, I can fix that and so it can still be wearable. But again, just kind of factoring things out, the dress, you know, it is made in very thick, heavy, like polyester material, and the wedding was gonna take place in like a southeastern part of Texas. Right now it's like over 100 degrees. Oh my God, like just her trying it on in the store where there was AC, she was already like starting to sweat. So like, I mean, so like the fabric choice was all wrong. Like it needed to be changed. So yeah, keep in mind, they need a wedding dress, and in the end, and here's where it ends up costing more money, where you could have just bought like an actual dress in the store for probably around the same price, but you wouldn't have had this kind of a headache. So in the end, I mean, they paid like, I think almost $250 or $300 for this dress that was online. And she said that they had sent in, they asked for all these measurements, just like the way, like if you've ever ordered anything from me, I ask you for all these weird measurements and stuff. So they sent in all these different measurements, and I mean, it fit, but like everything from like the nipple up, as I just showed you, is just too high. It's off on her. So that she definitely couldn't wear it. The only thing that was really salvageable, so in the end, I just told him, you know, I can fix it, but I can tell that, you know, obviously the dress is not in the theme that she wanted, which is the leaf theme. It probably would be best at this point, I advised, let's just upcycle the dress, make a completely new bodice, and we're here at the fabric store. Let's shop for the fabric together. I'll make you a new dress. I'll quote you this much. So let's do that. So she was like, okay, because really, I mean, and then the girl didn't even live here. So this is where, you know, you could take my story and you can tweak it to your situation, but I would just advise not to. You really gamble on it. I've also done other alterations on dresses that people order overseas, and I've had one before that wasn't as much of a disaster as this. It just needed to have like some extra layers taken out and some slight alterations. But I mean, it was like a spaghetti strap, like beachy type dress. So there, you know, it was like you couldn't have messed up like the way your arms move, because it was like spaghetti strap. Like all this is free to move, you know what I mean? And it was a very light material. So onto the material. The material used in this dress was super thick. Like I would say the material for the top that this dress came in is okay. It's just super thick polyester material, which is like, you know, it's a form of plastic basically. So there's no breathability going in through there. So I mean, you're just gonna sweat and sweat stain your dress. Like it's so gross. But the cheaper side, now I'm gonna focus on what I'm working on now. I had to, like I said, completely redo the bodice. I'm about 86 to 87% done at this point in this video. So we kept the bottom. I did, however, the only thing I kept from the original dress is that I recycled. I took out boning from the wrong bodice that we were gonna end up throwing away, just to, you know, keep costs down. So I'm pulling the boning out of that, and I put some of the boning in this dress. Again, since the season that it's gonna be in, I try to keep away from polyesters as much as possible. So like it's got like a cotton lining in it, and of course like it has like a cotton interfacing that it's not the fusible kind, so it was like the sew-in, because obviously the outer shell is this lace and you can see through it, so you can't have like a fusible thing showing through on the dress. So I also put in, so that one had cups, but the cups are really weird. Let me see if I can show you. And you know, since I am self-taught, a lot of this I learned by gutting dresses, and I look inside them to see how they're made, you know what I mean? So like, I think these cups are really, really weird. Okay. that was a lot of work. So the cups in here were like, I just think this is a funny looking cup. I don't know if more premium, higher priced dresses in nicer special occasion stores have these types of cups, but I just don't see where it's supposed to support your breast. It just looks more like, you know what I mean? Like it looks like a hat. It looks like nipple covers. Like that's not, and it's squishy, like it's foam. Like I don't know. It was just really strange to me. And I am always a fan of, like, if you're gonna have a special occasion dress, maybe work in like a built-in bra or some kind of corsetry support system so you don't have to wear a bra, so there's not an additional layer inside of you. And besides, who likes bra straps and parts of the bra poking out of the dress? Like nobody does. So anyways, so back to this. I bought cups at the fabric store. They look like actual cups, like a bra cup, so I like that. So I installed that into the top. I put this ribbon in the bottom, which I still have to like tack down because right now it's like curling up. So, I mean, a lot of this is just pinned together. So really, like I said, the only thing I ended up salvaging was these little things, the base sheer part under this. Now, let me tell you too, so since they didn't want these flower appliques all over it, obviously because that wasn't the theme, it was very tedious work. I would say the worst part about making this was just removing these, because I had to try and be so careful and delicate with it, because I mean it did leave some damage behind, and I tried not to. So there is some little damaged areas, but you know, I told them, I go, it's very hard to take it apart, because they really, whoever made this really tacked it down. I mean, you don't make a dress with the intention that someone's gonna completely gut it, you know what I mean? So you like sew this stuff down really, really good. So on and off, working about every night or so, it took me about 2 weeks to take off all these appliques, and then the post cleanup, because it does leave like little strands behind, and then I had to try and iron it and put steam in it to hopefully like have the holes kind of heal themselves to close. So I ended up taking all that. So really, I mean, it really was, such a waste of money, and I feel so bad for them. You know, they paid so much money for this dress, and really all I was able to salvage, because this color, it's strange. This color is not, and I know maybe you can't tell on camera, but this is a more really light peachy rosy tone. This is more of like a brown with maybe a slight peach undertone. Like they really don't match that well, and the bride had concerns about that as well. So underneath this, again, you know, we were talking about the weather at this point where we're like, we got to throw out ideas, because she was leaving back to where she lives. And I mean, her mom lives here, but obviously like I need to work with the bride to figure out what she likes, you know. And I could tell she was just so distressed. So you guys don't do that to yourselves, because you don't know what you're gonna do, and it's total gamble. You could lose out on hundreds of dollars, because you're not getting your money back from these places, unless I would say, if you are gonna do it, use PayPal and just document everything in correspondence back and forth between these companies, because PayPal is really good about protecting their buyers, but at the same time, like, I mean, there's always that chance that, I don't know, it might not even work that way. So don't do that to yourself. So in the end, I didn't even keep the lining, because this lining is very thick and plasticky. We chose like another, I know, it's like another type of polyester, but it was much lighter. It was a white, and that was to kind of like mute the pinkness of this so it can match just a little bit better, because this lace color is called like, it's something peach, like there's some light, or is it light rose? Not light rose, it was like something with peach in it, I don't know. So that too is a challenge, because I have to try and find something up here that will match the original color of the skirt. So we put a white underlining to kind of mute this pink a little more to match the top. And then she had also ordered this online. It was like a leafing, like in this rose gold with like little fake crystals on it. And during the consultation, not the consultation, but when we had one of the first fittings at my house, I was like, well, she had bought this, and you don't want it to go to use. So she was like, I was like, well, we could do like a fake necklace, like to trim the neckline here, so that way you can at least still use it and get your money's worth. So she liked that idea. Oh, I gotta clean this up some more. Another thing I put in, since she wanted the leaf, more of the leaf motif, since we couldn't find any like applique trim in a leaf thing to like put it back how the original dress was. So I was like, well, I have like a leaf stitching setting in my machine. I can put like a little detail, and you can't see it here. It's like a little detail of leaves in like a rose thread. And she's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I did that. It's gonna have a zip up back. Right now I just have it pinned together because the other night I was combining the top to the bottom and making sure everything was fine. What else? I did the hem. I completely did like a blind stitch hem all by hand on the white underlining of this. These were completely free flowing. Right now they're free flowing, but one of my orders is to like tack it down. So it's just weird. Like she could like throw them up, and they would look like tentacles. Like it looked funny. You know what I mean? So like I'm gonna try and tack them down so when she does move, they stick to the underlining, and then the whole thing moves rather than there's like this weird tentacle action going on with the dress. And again, during during the final fitting, I originally had this like to be like regular straps, and then she was like, no, let's make it halter strap. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So we ended up doing a halter. So yeah, it really is, like I said, I'm gonna reiterate, quite a gamble when you order from these online websites, and just, you don't know what you're gonna get, you guys. Like, I don't know how they conduct business like that. I mean, and you know, like if you've ever heard of these horror stories, you know, sometimes you'll see memes of them going around Facebook. Like literally people get not what they ordered. So if you're gonna get any kind of special occasion dress, definitely shop somewhere local, try it on, try and do it in advance. If not, order from a reputable site that it's based in the United States. It'll be easier to get your money back if there's a mess up. You can actually call the company and talk to a representative or whoever is in charge of making this dress. You know, like, because I mean, you can't talk to the seamstress or the tailor on these offshore over the seas companies. You can't. So it's really hard. Another special feature of the dress that we worked in, which is, oh, here it is. Is I had, and if you're watching, thank you so much, Linda and Doug, for your embroidery machine help. And I did like a trade thing with some really nice people that I know, so I helped them make something, and they brought their embroidery machine. But another cool detail that we were talking about, you know, the bride was like, what if we put something like another special detail that only I know about? So like this is kind of visible, the little leafing, but you have to like see really close up. So it's just like a subtle detail. You have to really look close to see, but it fits within this leaf theme of the dress. Is she wanted to have like her and her husband's name and date sewn into the hem. So initially I was gonna have the hem really thick, and then I was just like, why am I doing that? Doesn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna do it like a fashion label type thing at the bottom of the hem of the dress, in the back somewhere, just so that way they have something to remember them by. And I kind of got the idea from that Daniel Day-Lewis movie. I think it's called The Tailor or something like that. I completely forgot, but he's like this eccentric, extraordinary tailor. It's a movie about his life. I don't know, it has like some weird S&M qualities to it towards the end. You let me know if you know what movie I'm talking about. So yeah, so in the end, they did end up paying double, but I think the bride will have something closer to what she wanted. Maybe it's not 100%, because obviously the picture that I show you, like, that's what she wanted, right? And that's not what she got. So we kind of had to come up with a plan B. But like I said, you guys, like these weird, I don't know what, it looks like a hat. I'm gonna make a hat out of it. Like, I don't know what that is. So yeah, I'm very close to completing it. Just, you know, if you want to avoid these problems, please take what I said in consideration very carefully. Yeah, so that's the problem with these dresses. I hope this doesn't happen to you. Please take what I'm saying. Please take my advice. All right, so that was the lesson for today. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Bye.